Have you ever heard someone say, be careful, your boss can sack you anytime for anything? That fear keeps a lot of people quiet at work. They tolerate disrespect, overwork, unfair treatment because they think one wrong move and they are out. But here's the truth. That's not how it works. Welcome back to the HR Space with Lillian, the place where we break down workplace issues into simple human language. I am Lillian, a freshly certified PHRI specialist, and I believe work should make sense and not stress you out. So today's myth is your boss can fire you anytime for any reason. Let's talk about what the law actually says. So in Ghana, the Labor Act 2003 Act 651 is very clear. It says termination must be fair and justifiable, not random, not done in anger or frustration, not because your manager woke up on the wrong side of the bed. Yes, your boss can terminate an employment contract, but they must have a valid reason and they must follow a process. So if an employer fires you without cause or without following proper procedure, that's unfair dismissal. And the law is on the employee's side. Let me give you a common scenario. So an employee comes late 3 times in 1 week. The manager is fed up and fires them on the spot. You are done. Pack your things and go. The employee then files a complaint. Now the company is in trouble. Why? Because there was no prior warning, no documented conversation, no progressive discipline. It was just out of anger and there was a firing. So here's what should have happened. The manager documents the lateness, gives a verbal warning. You tell the employee, this is a problem. It needs to stop. If it continues, a written warning, then maybe suspension. And only after all of that, if there is still no improvement, then dismissal. That's what we call due process. And it protects both the employee and the employer. And this is how HR actually steps in. Let's say a manager comes to me and says, I want you to fire this person today. My job isn't to say yes or no. I ask a question. Have you documented the issue? Have you had a conversation with the employee? Have you given them a chance to improve? And is the termination fair and legally defensible? And because if the answer to all of those is no, we are exposing the company to legal risk. And more importantly, we are treating someone unfairly. HR's role is to protect the process so that when a termination does happen, it's justified, documented, and legally sound. What this means for you as a manager, your best protection is always documentation. Do not wait until you are frustrated and then you start keeping records. No. Document performance issues as they happen. Have the hard conversations, those conversations that you think are hard, have them early on. Follow the process. It protects you, the employee, and the company. If you are an employee, know your rights. You cannot be fired randomly or out of anger. You have the right to know why you are being dismissed. You have the right to a fair process. And if that doesn't happen, the law is on your side. And know that the Labor Act isn't there to make it impossible to you to fire someone. It's rather there to make sure it is done fairly. So I want you all to take this with you. Your boss can't just sack you anytime, anyhow. There are rules, there is a process, and there is protection. Understanding that changes everything. So whether you are the one managing people or the one being managed. That is it for today's episode of the HR Space with Vivian. And always remember, HR isn't just about policies, it's people. See you next week. And thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to like, share with your friends, and subscribe to our YouTube page. Bye-bye.